We've all had a bad day at work, right? Maybe it was a tough email. Maybe it was a tense phone call or just that one customer that no matter what you did, just couldn't be pleased. But most of us don't experience the customer drove their car through the building type of bad day. Well, that's exactly what happened last month at a Utah dealership. Basically, this bad day includes a frustrated buyer, a Subaru, and a very unlucky set of glass doors. It sounds like something out of a movie, but this really happened. So stick around and I'll show you the full video and I'll provide some communication tips that can help you in high pressure moments. So let's go. So quickly, before I show you the wreckage, literally, I just want to give you just a little bit of background. So meet Michael Murray. He's a 35-year-old man from Sandy, Utah. Now, Michael was on the hunt for a new-to-him car, a used vehicle, and he spotted a used Subaru Outback at a local dealership for only $4,000. Sounds like a steal, right? Well, he saw the car and decided that was the one for him. Now, according to the dealership, they informed Michael that the car needed some work, and so it was sold as is. And I want you to remember that term as is because that's really important. So just shortly after driving off the lot, Michael said he discovered some mechanical issues. He said the car was a lemon. So he decided to return the as-is car. Remember that term? The car that he was told would need some work, and he wanted to go back and receive his money back. Now, you won't be surprised to hear that the dealership reminded him of their as-is policy. There it is again. And surprise, they denied the refund. Well, let's just say that Michael wasn't happy with their response. And, well, as promised, I want you to take a look for yourself.
It's the heart-stopping moment an enraged driver crashes right into a car dealership.
I told you. Whoa! Whoa! Call the cops!
The men inside can't believe what just happened.
Is anybody under the car?
No.
Tyler Slade is a manager at the Mazda dealership in Sandy, Utah.
Several hours later, he came back and he was very emotional, upset about the vehicle. Had been to his mechanic, said there were some things wrong with it, and he would, like to get his money back. He said, listen, if you don't give me my money back right now, I'm going to run this car right through the front door.
Slade says the driver got so worked up, he got back in the car and hit the gas. You can see the driver getting cuffed by cops. And here he is, Michael Lee Murray. What on earth were you thinking?
I was just really angry. I was upset about my money. I kind of blacked out for a second.
But Michael, in what universe is it okay to do this?
I know I probably shouldn't have done it, but I guess I just hit a breaking point.
Well, if there's anything that can be said about Michael, is at least that he's true to his word. He warned the dealership that he was going to drive his car through the dealership, and well, that's exactly what he did. It's reported that he caused around $10,000 in damages. Now, most of us, if we're honest, we probably haven't had an interaction quite like this, or maybe you have, and if so, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. But that doesn't mean if you haven't had that sort of interaction or you haven't dealt with someone who is so upset that they would drive their car through the dealership. It doesn't mean we shouldn't be prepared for difficult leadership moments. Now, clearly, this situation escalated to a place that it really should never have gone. And there's one big reason. Well, maybe two. With all due respect to this man, there seems to have been some severe anger issues, but also communication. See, the dealership claimed that they were transparent about the car's condition, and maybe they were. I wasn't there. But there seems to be some confusion somewhere. I mean, maybe it just wasn't communicated effectively. But regardless, if the breakdown was before or after the sale, there was definitely a breakdown in communication somewhere. And this is often, honestly, the foundational problem for most of the issues that we have. So for the next few minutes, let me just offer us 3 tips for better communication. And this can lead to better customer service and interaction with those that we serve. So our goal is to learn how to prevent these types of events before they actually happen. So tip number 1, be crystal clear. Here's what I mean by that. Be crystal clear. As a leader or as a business, it's your responsibility to communicate with such clarity that there's no way that your customers or those that you serve can't fully understand what they're getting into. So honesty is actually the foundation of trust, and trust is the foundation of any successful relationship. Think about that. So trust, honesty is what builds trust, and trust is what builds the successful relationships that we have. We have all had those experiences where we're given 100 pages of fine print, and then we're told, sign here. We're told how good the warranty or the service will be until we try to use it. So I just believe that clear communication can, in most cases, fix any issue before they happen. So for example, if you were the one involved in our Subaru situation, and as the leader, instead of just saying, well, the car is sold as is. Well, we understand, you know what as is, but maybe everyone doesn't fully understand it. So take the time to explain exactly what that means in clear, straightforward language. Communicate any known issues that there are with the vehicle. Communicate if there's something that needs to be fixed or something that may need to happen after it leaves the lot. Communicate, is there a possibility of a refund? If no, just communicate that up front. Just lay it all out there so there's no surprises later. I think when you're up front with your communication, even if the news isn't what the customer wants to hear, they will appreciate your honesty. And as a leader, your integrity sets the tone for how you or your business, how it operates. Honesty doesn't just prevent misunderstandings. It actually builds credibility, and it shows that you value your customers enough to treat them with respect. And at the end of the day, being truthful and clear will always serve you better than trying to avoid a tough conversation. So what areas of your leadership or areas of your organization just need a little more clarity? I would encourage you to take inventory of your policies, of your processes, and just see if there's a lack of clarity somewhere that could be contributing to the chaos that you're finding in your life. And then tip number 2, be concise and caring. Be concise and caring. So listening is one of the most underrated skills in customer service. Listening is powerful. Often when people are upset, they aren't just complaining about the issue. They're actually expressing their frustration, their disappointment, or their fear of being taken advantage of. They just need to get it out of their system. So the key as the leader is active listening. This means you're not interrupting, you're not brushing them off, or you're not just thinking about your next response. So you're actually treating them the way that you would want to be treated if the roles were reversed. So here's a pro tip. Even if you can, or if you can't fix the problem right away, when you listen, it just shows respect and it shows your willingness to try to help. And in my experience, I've just found that regardless of the situation or regardless of the solution, if a person feels that they were respected or they were valued or they were cared for, if you listen to them, their brand loyalty will remain. They'll actually give you another chance. So simply, just to sum that up, treat people the way that you would want to be treated. And then number 3, I think this is important, especially as leaders. Be coachable and correctable. You need to be coachable and you need to be correctable. One of the most powerful tools that you have as a leader is the ability to say, "You're right, I was wrong." I think you ought to practice that with me. You're right, and I was wrong. We've all had these interactions as the customer where you knew you were right, but the other person was just unwilling to admit their fault. And isn't that so frustrating? I don't think anything frustrates me more than when someone knows that they are wrong, but they're willing to fight to the death to prove that they aren't. See, admitting fault when you made a mistake, again, that shows integrity. And that integrity, remember, builds trust, and then it creates an opportunity to turn a negative situation into a positive one. That's what customer service is all about. That's what about a good customer experience is taking a negative situation and turning it into a positive one. See, people respect a leader. They respect a person. They respect a salesman. They respect someone who represents a company who's willing to say, "You're right, I'm wrong, I got this wrong, and here's how I'm going to fix it." See, admitting fault is not a sign of weakness. Many of us think if I admit that I'm wrong, it's a sign of weakness. No, it's a sign of strength. It's an opportunity, again, to turn that negative into a positive, but not only for the customer, but for you as a leader. Because the quicker you can learn and the quicker you can be coachable and the quicker you can be correctable, the quicker you can begin to grow personally and professionally. So let me ask you a question. Can you remember a personal moment where you felt like the Subaru owner? Just think about it. An experience you had with a company, an experience you had as a customer in any capacity. Can you remember the moment that you felt like that Subaru owner? Well, maybe you didn't drive your car through the building, but you were disappointed with your experience. Let that fuel your decisions as a leader when you're helping other people. So the next time life throws you a curveball or a customer throws their car through the proverbial window, let that be your motivation to be clear, caring, and coachable. Remember to treat people the way that you would want to be treated. And when you're standing in that situation, remembering the way you were treated as the customer can motivate to take care of them as the leader. So I hope you got some value from this today. I want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with other people. And hey, drop a comment below. I would love to hear your Subaru story about how maybe you've had an experience at work that you learned from, some crazy situation. We would love to talk about it together. So until the next one, go live life on purpose, and I'll see you next time.